Okay, awesome. I just wanted to restart the recording so this way I can just have it be for the servers 1 through 36. Okay, so we're going to start with server 1. If you have accounts that are in, and again, I'm going to take a look at probably 8 servers first. The first 8 servers. After we do the first 8 servers, then we'll pause for a minute or two just to ask for anyone who has questions, right? So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to be updating the spreadsheet. So again, if you have someone that is interested in migrating, you think this could benefit someone, please feel free. You can let them know to join the stage channel to take a listen in. But again, so I'm just going to walk through everything, right? I'm probably not going to look back at anything until I get done with the first 8 servers. So I'm going to go through them all, and then I'll probably look back at the voice channel chat. So if you want to take a look as far as me, as I'm going through and I'll be updating the spreadsheet in real time, you can load that up if you'd like. Again, you just, link is in the voice channel chat, and then at the bottom of the tab, just scroll over to where it says servers for migration, and then you can follow along there. So some of these I've already done as far as like the first 6 servers, so I'm going to probably do these a little quicker. But in short, server 1 at the moment, and I'll try and do the best job I can as far as providing some good descriptors so people can have a good understanding of how the servers are looking right now. But in server 1, there is kind of like, if we're just looking at the overall powered alliance, right, you have Uno, which is 77 mil at number 1, and then it's 27 mil 2, 23 million number 3, and then it drops off again to about 11.5 mil at number 4. So in this server, I can discern based on this that Uno probably is the only pure active alliance, right? They're 142 out of 150 cap, so they're pretty high. When you look at number 2, right, there's about a 50 mil power gap from 1 to 2. In addition to that, they have 96 out of 150 slots available. I'm sure a healthy amount of those are inactives that they probably just haven't removed yet. Unless by chance they're just, random new players. Sometimes that can happen, but unlikely for how old the server is. So I can gauge that in server 1, they for the most part have 1 active alliance. Outside of the gap, right, you can imagine that the number of alliances with cities, I just put 3. The reason why I put 3 is because, 1, not only do I want to look at the power to get a sense of somewhat activity, but also if I look at the faction power here in server 1, I can see that 1 through 3 has over each of these alliances at least have 1,000 points or more. Now, yes, you can make the argument that maybe the number 2 and number 3 alliance are just inactive, but they just haven't given up their cities, or Uno just already has the max amount of cities that they can have and they can't cap anymore. But with this, I'd like to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. Now, the next thing I'd like to look at is server mails, right? So what mails have they sent, right? 1, are the mails informative, right? Or are they educational, right? Are you sending server mails out for events? Are you sending server mails out when you pop king buffs? Are you sending server mails out when you're distributing rewards? Are you sending server mails out when you're trying to educate players to give them good information, whether it be best practices or how to take advantage of upcoming events? Are you sending out server mails on how kill event is going to be managed? Are you sending out general just server updates on maybe how the server is working together? I mean, anything that can be educational or informative. Are you doing anything like that? Are you promoting your server or your kingdom Discord, for example, right? These are some of the big areas I like to look at, because keep in mind, it doesn't matter if your server is, a all-out war server, or you're the most organized server ever, or anything in between, right? The big thing we always talk about is there's a lot of different ways that servers can be managed. There's a lot of different ways that servers can play out. And what it comes down to is just once you have your server's identity, right, stay true to that. And that's the most important part. So again, right, I'm looking at some of these, right, so I'll go through, usually we go through the system mails, and we'll just take a look and see if anything has been said. I can see here that the last server mail in server 1 was sent 2 days ago, where they said rewards will be given to those who truly are deserving. I know who gave their all in Harvest and in Siege. Thank you so much. So again, not really informative, not really educational, right, just more of an acknowledgement that, rewards are being distributed. Outside of that, that was the only server mail they've sent since server mail was introduced. So again, one server mail, not really a lot. Do they have a server Discord? No, they don't. Which, when I say no, it really means that, one, if they do, they don't promote it anywhere. It's not publicly visible on any of the top alliance announcement boards, in a server mail, or even on the King's notice board in the World Heart, or the World Heart's notice board, I should say. And then what type of server is it? Well, it's unclear because they really haven't defined what their server is. So we just kind of have a bunch of unknowns. All right, let's move on to server 2. Where is server 2? Here we go. Sorry, I have to log in. I have 50 scout accounts right now, and I'm slowly always working on making more. Okay. Ooh, man, this kombucha is really good. I got pineapple peach, the lady got me. Gotta love it. Okay. Let's take a look at server 2. Okay, so server 2, there's pretty much one active alliance in server 2, and from here, it's GB, which is Green Berets. They're at 55.7 mil. Then you have a second alliance at 30.8 mil, and then it drops off to the number 3 alliance at 8.8 mil, right? So you have pretty much a 25.4 mil gap. If you extend it to the third alliance, though, right, then you're looking at about a 47 million power gap. For the most part, there's 2 alliances with cities. They haven't sent out any server mails in server 2. There's no server Discord. The rating I would give server 2 along with server 1, again, this is me using a rating of 1 through 5, I would give them a 1. And it doesn't mean that and let me preface my ratings too. When I'm giving a server a rating, right, for my opinion on how the server is, it's looking at all of these factors on what is the identity of the server, and is that server doing a good job of educating and informing their player base of their identity, right? Are they informing players on events, on rules, on any and everything, right? Unless they are a pure war server, which, again, I would wait a little lower than that, and I'll give you an example of that coming up as well, because in a few servers I'm going to talk about that. But if you are not an all-out war server, right, then the standard that I'm going to hold your server to is going to be a little higher. Why? Because migration's important, especially with how the migration system is right now. It costs a lot, and it takes a lot of time in order to get the necessary amount of space teleports before you even go to a new server. So it is even more vitally important that players get it right. Because unless you're willing to spend, however much money to buy space teleports, right, and you're going, especially for the free-to-play route, right, and don't get me wrong, I mean, even if you're spending money, right, you still hopefully would want to be efficient and looking to get good value out of the money you're spending. So whatever side of the spectrum you fall on, right, making sure that you are making the right decision for you as a player, for the server you're going to go to, is extremely important. And I can tell you that almost any kingdom builder I have played, I've never seen someone that is doing what I'm doing right now, right, which is going through all of these servers, right, and even more than that, giving you the information publicly that can be viewable, right, on just someone's opinion on how these things are playing out, right, defining some kind of a metric and a standard to go off of, and letting players know what servers, at least at minimum, you could contact if that server lines up with maybe what you want as a player. And again, that's not me saying, I'm putting myself on this extremely high pedestal, but it is showing that, again, for myself, I've played a lot of kingdom builders. I've never seen a content creator, I've never seen a player put out any kind of widespread mined data or research on, hey, here's a list of like the 100 best servers or 50 best servers, right, that you could consider migrating to, and here's why, right, and here's all their data that they collected and why they feel the way they do. So I think it's important that we are setting these standards early, especially for Infinity Kingdom, because one, of how young the game still is, and two, the opportunity that we're giving players to be more and hopefully well informed before they make a decision, right? So anyways, and then I think on top of that, hopefully it gives servers another reason to try and get these things in line, right? Because this is also a form of promotion for them as well. So anyways, so I stopped there at S2. Okay, let's go to S3. And again, if you're just joining, I haven't even taken a look back at the Discord yet. But if you're just joining, you're more than welcome to go to the voice channel chat. You will see a link to the spreadsheet, and you're more than welcome to load that up. We're kind of going over it in real time, and I'll be updating the spreadsheet in real time as well. You just load that up, and then at the very bottom, scroll to the right, or one of the last tabs, and you'll see where it says Servers for Migration if you want to follow along with us in real time. Mainly because I'm not streaming, so I'm trying to be as descriptive as I can while I go over this. So now we're in Server 3. For Server 3, and again, we'll do 5 more servers, and then we're going to pause, and I'll take questions then, as I mentioned before. So in Server 3, you have LG, which is Legions of Gods. They're the #1 alliance at 44.8 million power. Number 2 is Vic, V-I-K. They're at 23 million power. And then number 3 alliance overall is Mechas, or MCH, at 8.6 million power. So the spread here for the power gap between 1 and 3, right, because how I like to look at it is what is the lowest, right, what's the lowest powered alliance from the top that shows they're pretty much inactive at that point. So Mechas would be that, right? So we have about a 36 mil gap from number 1 to number 3. In Server 3, there's two alliances that for the most part have cities. They have I will say Server 3 so far has been the first of the 3 servers that has lightly informed their players and actually has utilized server mails in a little bit of a better way. As an example, right, you have a server mail that was sent in a kingdom notice that this is by Alpha Omega. He said, "Today is my last day as king. I would like to take this opportunity to tell everyone that racism will not be tolerated. Respect all players regardless of their race, nationalities, or religion. Respect all players." So I like that. I like how he put something out there that was a little more, kind of morally responsible and respectable for people that are there. They've sent some other ones. For example, a mail they sent 4 days ago was talking about kill event. They said it starts tomorrow, right? You're not allowed to hit anyone more than once unless you have an agreement with another player. No attacking anyone in the FZ. Those who do not take part in the event, please move to the FZ. Have fun, everyone. So again, he kind of goes over some of the information. He even says that, for anyone that's breaking any rules, report directly to me with evidence, right? So he's giving you an opportunity where if something happens in the server, he as the king is taking responsibility. I respect that. I actually like that because he's told you, 1, who to contact if something happens, and 2, provide some evidence, right? Or provide something that happened that can show proof of what did happen. This is something that I can tell you a lot of servers in Kings or Queens sometimes don't do. They'll give you the information, right? And they'll say, hey, if anyone breaks a rule, it's not tolerated. These are the punishments. But more often than not, they will not tell you who to actually contact. So I like that. Outside of this, though, that's pretty much it, right? The mails that they've sent out has been just a little bit more about kill event and just kind of how they go about doing it. They talked, I think they had one mail that was 16 days ago that talked about COR and a little bit of information there as far as like not attacking players that have an agreement, right? Kind of letting people know, try and choose contracts that do not make you attack others, right? So they do give a little bit of education there as far as some tips, or one tip I should say. Outside of that, I think the last mail they sent out, right? So, and they did send a mail out almost 39 days ago, which they sent one gift code. So I like that, right? Again, lightly informing the players could still be a lot better. I would rate them like a 2 out of 5 as far as on server mails altogether. Now let's take a look at, again, right? Do they have a server Discord? No, they don't. There's a Alliance Discord they have, but not a server Discord. And then one. Right, so here for the type of server that they have, I would say the type of server they have it's pretty unclear, right? That we don't really know what kind of a server they have. We don't know if there's a lot of war. We don't know if, it's a little bit more controlled or organized because there's no information on what the actual server infrastructure is. Now, they have some rules, again, that are kind of revolving around kill event, and one mail they put out about COR, but nothing that is clearly defining the identity of the server. So for that, again, because they have been lightly informative, I'm actually going to give them a 2 here out of a 5 on my overall rating for server 3. Okay, now let's move to server 4. Let's see, where's server 4 that I have? Awesome. And again, if you're just joining, mainly just because I haven't gone back to look at Discord, which I probably should, just take a look, because I'm sure some people are. Never mind, actually I thought people would be talking a lot more in voice channel chat, but they're not. Just diligently listening, that's cool. Let me see, Picker Money said, servers for free-to-play players, servers for pay-to-win players. Ben Barrow said S5 started KVK. Yeah, you mean internal KVK. Yeah. Does someone have a hand up? Not Kings. All right. Where am I at? I'm at server 4 right now. Awesome. Okay, let me go back. All right. So let's see. Okay, so we're on server. Where am I at? What did I say? Server 4. Okay. So server 4. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going down on S4. So S4, you have Vita, which is at 76 million power. LGDR, which is at 73 million power. And then you have the big drop-off from number 3, which is Pan, or Pandora. They're at 15 million power. So between number 1 and number 3, you have about a 61.5, 61 million power gap. That's pretty wide. The number of alliances that have servers here in S4 is 2. They've sent 1 server mail out ever since server mails were introduced. And it was really just a little bit of a kill event brief notice that they did. And let's see here. I think we found it. It was here. So he says, this was by King Beba. He says, "Good evening. I am writing to inform you that in this kill event, the Forbidden Zone will be a protected zone for the first day. But from the second day, you can hit and be hit, even in the Forbidden Zone. Thanks for your attention." And then there was another mail they said. He says, "Good morning, everyone. I spoke to the leader Vita. We decided to transform the forbidden area, central area of the map, into a protected area. This is to ensure everyone can play the event, Battle of Asteria, naturally, only for the first day of overlapping events." And then there was another mail on, what looks like 3 mails were sent the same day. He said, "The kill event can be played on the entire game map. Thanks for your attention." So he sent the mail the same day. These mails were sent about 5 hours apart. First it was, we're going to play on the entire map. And then the 2 mails later, it was, okay, now we're not going to play on the entire map. We're going to have a protected zone and then an unprotected zone on day 2. Right, so again, right, those are some of the mails, really the only ones that were sent out there. I'm not a big fan of like contradicting mails because I think it doesn't do a lot for you as a server as a whole. As far as when players are reading those, it can be a big turnoff. Outside of that, do they have a server Discord? No, they do not have a server Discord. Do we know anything about the rules here in the server? Pretty much we don't, right? Outside of them sending 1 rule. Keep in mind, rules for a server can be somewhat different than rules for an event. Even if that event is server-wide, it's an isolated event, right? It means that is a temporary event that lasts for a small period of time. It does not define the identity of a server. That is by far the most important part. And I'll give you an example. An example of this would be, right, there's no PvP at all, right, during a non-event period, where we don't allow any PvP on the map. If you want a PvP, you go to the Forbidden Zone, right? That's something that this is how the server acts on a daily basis, right, where we don't allow for these things to happen. Another example of this would be like when Titan Tula comes around, right? It's a safe area, right? So no one can PvP other people, right? Anyone and everyone has the opportunity and should to be able to go and participate in that event, right? That's something that's server-wide, right? Because the event happens often, but more so than something, than something like another event would. But at the same time, it's still good to define these things so people know what to expect. Another example would be saying the way that we distribute cities in this server, we go off of city levels, or we have everything split up in thirds, right? These are server defining characteristics that are important for servers to list and to display. And because we don't see any of that, we have no idea how this server operates. Now let's go over to probably the next juicy one. And so the rating I would give for server 4 would be a 1 out of 5. Now let's go to the juicy server, probably almost arguably of them all, until we get a little bit later in the server list, which is going to be server 5. Now, shout out to MG and Nuke in server 5, because the one thing I will say about S5 is they're very true to their roots. Right, server 5, as most know, is a war server. Right, if you want to do nothing but PvP and fight, you go to server 5. Right, this, like, people just know that's what you do. Now, again, because of that, I'm probably going to rate server 5 a little bit different on somewhat of a lower weighted scale. And that's because things like infrastructure, things like having a server Discord, things like sending server mails out that are informative or educational are pretty much irrelevant in war servers, right? Because the only thing that a war server cares about is just the enjoyment and the fun of fighting all day, every day, 24/7 like 7-Eleven. Get your easy breezy beautiful cover girl on. That's all you're doing here. So with that in mind, right, I really wouldn't rate them, you know, anything kind of good or bad, because I don't really know how you can rate a war server. You know, it's like you're either it's like oh, did they not meet their quota for today? You know, like they needed to, you know, if their server didn't do 100 attacks before noon, oh god, they must be the worst war server ever. Right, and again, I'm being extremely sarcastic here, but the point there is that, right, there's not really, I would say, any kind of definable metrics or scale that you can really analyze a war server on, right? It's just the fact that that's what they are, right? There's no rules, no structure, nothing. That's all they do is fight. And if you want to fight, right, then you go there and you join, right, pretty much one of the two primary fighting alliances, which is either going to be Nuke and Red or Green or MG and Green, right? I mean, there are two other semi-active alliances, but for the most part, right, they don't really do anything. It's pretty much the top two alliances. So, if anything, if you want to do nothing but fight, and you enjoy the PvP aspect of the game, even if you just want to make an account there to do it, right, server 5 is the place to go. And what I would recommend is that if you go to server 5, make sure you join, make sure you always try and join like the lowest powered alliance out of the two, so that way the power gap can always remain nice and equal, so they can have more reasons to keep fighting. Alright, let me go to server 6. Now, and then while I'm loading this up, let me take a look back at the chat. Alright, so let me see. I think, did we have a question here? Oh, sorry. I just looked. Actiati. Sorry, I'm just seeing your hand up now. I just called on you if you'd like to ask a question. If you're still here. Otherwise, I can... Oh, he took it back. Okay. No worries. And again, if anyone has a question at all on anything I'm talking about, you're more than welcome to post in the voice channel chat, and then I'll come back periodically and take a look. Okay. So we are in server 6 now. Okay, awesome. So let's look. Okay, so server 6 is interesting because what some people may not know is server 6 was actually the first server that I went to with a alliance's worth of jumpers. So I think we had about 50 or 60 people that went to S6 just as one alliance, right? Didn't really have any expectations. We just wanted to try doing it to see how it would play out. For those who don't know, right, I've ran big jumper projects in other kingdom builders, most notably Rock, for those of you that have played that, right, where, you know, the amount of players I had that actually jumped with us ranged anywhere from 300 to 450. That actually came with us from each kingdom to get to the final kingdom, which is our home now. In that game, right, you double jump compared to a single jump here in IK, right? And you know, the amount of alliances I've managed has been anywhere from, you know, 6 up to 15 alliances that we've had going into final kingdom. It's a lot easier to organize than you might think, but again, for most people who just haven't spent time doing that as far as managing or running jumper projects on any kind of a mid to high level or large scale, right? It might seem a little more difficult up front. But again, S6 was the first kind of mini project that I did coming here. But anyways, let's take a look at it and see how it's going. So shout out to my boys BM and Brave and Silly that are still there. Really good guys. So S6 right now, right, I would say has about 6 alliances based on the boards that are, I would say, really active. One, because once you look at 6, right, you see they're at 63 mil. They're at 122 out of 150 cap. Once you get to number 7, it drops to 89 out of 150 cap. So, and again, then you also have the numbers that are going a little lower. Now, you can make the argument that maybe they have 5 alliances that are a little more active than the others because you have 122 out of 150 at 6, but then at number 5 you have 144 out of 150, in addition to number 5 having almost 3 times the amount of city points that the number 6 alliance does. But at least based on the powers and whatnot, I mean, I would say arguably that you probably have somewhere at a soft 6 of active alliances. Now the power gap between 1 and 6 is 96 million, right? So it is the largest power gap so far, but this is also based on the number of active alliances. Now, the number of alliances that have cities, or at least I should say more than one city, right, is 6. As far as 1 that are actively have more than one city. Now, the unfortunate part here about S6 is they haven't sent any server mails out yet, so I'm not really a big fan of that. They don't really have any information on their World Heart notice board. Do they have a server Discord? The answer is no, because they just don't have any of that information public. And then the type of server that S6 is, well, we don't really know what the type of server is because they haven't identified themselves, listing what kind of server they are. So overall, I'm going to give them a rating score of 1. I think that they have the most active alliances out of the first 6 servers so far for the amount of servers we've looked at. But at the moment, there's just too much uncertainty or things that are just unclear, so that's why I give them a rating of 1. Now let's take a look at S7. Let me see here. Where is my S7, by the way? Oh, I have to scroll down really far for this. Okay, cool. Alright, so while we're loading up S7, let me come back and take a look and see if there's any questions. GD Tristan 35 said, hey, Bab, what's up, baby? So yeah, guys, and if you have any questions, kind of as I'm going through each of the servers, right, I'm finding I have a little more time probably than normal, so I'll try to relook at chat, in the voice channel chat, and then if anyone has a hand raised for any questions in between each server that we go through. So we're on S7 right now. GD Tristan asks, so basically S5 is just KE but permanent, I guess, since it's a war server. More or less, yeah. It's really just kind of kill on site, 24/7 all the time. So, because of that, most of the active players there are usually bubbled, right? Meaning they have a shield on, and that's pretty much how they operate. So they operate with the shield on at all times, and the only time that you really take your shield off is if you're going out and doing attacking or doing cities. Now, whether that's sieging a city for yourself or, counter sieging and trying to take someone else's. Okay, now we're taking a look at S7. This is actually where I'm probably going to have to start getting into the nitty-gritty of updating my spreadsheet. Fantastic. Alright, so let us look at... Okay. So S7, let's take a look. Bab said S7 height. Okay, so S7, let's look here. So, oh wow, oh my god, a lot less than S6. Okay, so Boba is at 54 mil, RDL is 43, INQ is at 34. Man, S7 has like really, really low power. Let's look at faction power. Okay, so Boba pretty much has... Okay, so I would say there's probably one active alliance here. And that's because Boba's faction power is 4,780. RDL's faction power is 800, and INQ is 730. What this shows me is that by how old the server is, either one of two things are happening. One, the Boba is just taking whatever they want, and that's what they've done, or the other alliances just became inactive, and then they just went and started taking servers. So I'm going to say one alliance is active here. I would say the power gap between them is I would say it's hard to say because I can go off of it from 1 to 2, but the challenge is that if the other alliances are pretty inactive, then then I can make the argument that it's like a 54 mil gap because it's one versus like no one else, or as far as comparing one versus no one else. So let me just say, for sake of argument, I'll just say 24 mil. We'll just go down to number 5, or let me see, when's the next real big push off? Number 6. Okay, so we'll do number 6 and just say it's about 20 mil. Or 30. Yeah, let me do that. So we'll do 30 mil. And now let's look at alliances with cities. Okay, we have 1. Okay, let's check and see if they have any informative server mails that they've sent in S7. So as I'm just collecting my rewards, ooh, someone scouted my territory 81 days ago. That's always nice. Let's see here on declarations. So they sent a declaration out, which looks to be in a different language. It says, commit my boba, although far will be. I'm sure it's just a translation error. Alright, let me scroll down. And that one they sent 11 days ago. Okay, they sent a few others. I think it's King Kikaba. Where is the person who told me to change my name? Interesting. I didn't think that'd be something you would ask every single player in the server. But okay. Oh, wow. They sent it again 1 minute apart. Awesome. I feel like I'm not going to be getting a lot of value out of reading these. Okay, then they sent some others. Shout with us, Boba. Okay, awesome. So they're pretty much like doing the Gilligan's Island thing, where they're just like by themselves. So I'm just going to say none here, as far as server mails that I feel hold any significant value. As far as relevance, server Discord, we're going to say no, but we will take a look and just see. It's always good for us to check. Nothing. They have 6 period dots in their alliance announcement board. All right, solid. Let's take a look at the world chart real quick and just see if they even have a notice. This will be interesting. I'm going to go with probably a hard no, but let's see. Oh, wait, no one's king right now. So, okay, never mind. That'll be a no on that. And then we're going to say rules unclear because we don't know. Rating, I'm going to give them a 1. So, oops, hang on, let's go here. 1, and then we'll go rules unclear. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. Awesome. Okay, now let's go to server 8. Server 8 is going to be interesting. 1 is because server 8 was the first server that I pretty much built as far as having, having my kind of actual real jump group that went to S8. So we had, I think, 6 alliances that we went to S8 with, maybe about 150 players or so. And when we went to S8, I mean, we were, by far the biggest group there. Our goals for S8 were, to, again, kind of share cities, share resources, right? Again, try and develop the server in an SVS way that also allowed for anyone who wanted to be competitive in Illusion Battlefield or the AVA variant, formidable. Outside of that, right, we didn't allow for server-wide PvP, something that they've changed, and I think they're doing now. So yeah, let's take a look and see how S8's going. So S8 on, let's take a look at rankings. So DPS right now is 124 mil, TSP 114, Lion, KOH, Verdian. Let's see where the drop-off is. Okay, so they have about 8 alliances, I would say, that are... I would say 6 or 8. Let me see how the faction points look real quick. 7. Okay, yeah, so I'll say 8 because there's 8 alliances that have about 470, 450 points or higher. So yeah, I'll say 8 that they have. And let's look at what the power gap is between 1 and 8. So it's 124 mil for 1. Number 8 is 64. Wow. That's almost... That's a 60 mil power gap. Oof. Okay. Number of alliances with cities, we'll say 8. Okay, let's take a look at server mails and see how they're stacking up there. Let's see here. Okay, appointed. Okay, so they've done some appointments. Okay. There was 1 server mail that was sent out 43 days ago. That's a long time. This was by King Thalia. Said, hey, lovely S8, I'm going to set the buff bounty hunt today at 1830 UTC. As it goes well with the Gnome event, I wish you all a lot of fun. Okay, so I kind of like the mail. Again, missing some more particulars as far as, you know, maybe just describe the event a little bit more. Maybe I would say, right, let the people know how long the buff lasts. What is the buff as well? Would be nice, because again, not everyone knows. The assumption shouldn't be that these people are going to know this information. They're going to actually go and click on stuff, right? You got to have to serve the dish cold to everyone and let it warm up. Let's see if there was another one. Okay, looks like Westy West, who's here in S8 after migrating, sent a Kingdom notice that says subscribe to Westy West on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know if I would necessarily... Well, I don't really know how I feel about that either way. Anyways, nothing really informative as far as for the server. Kingdom Declaration from Westy says... He sent this one out. This was 52 days ago. So one mail was sent out 43 days ago, and the next one was 52 days. So a 9-day difference. And it says the council has voted to allow alliances to defend their level 8 gathering nodes from other factions. This rule goes into effect on June 1st. If you are hit for this, you do not have the right to revenge. Gathering bonuses are best in alliance territory, so stay within your faction, please. Okay. So, again, you know, somewhat of an informative mail. Letting people know, one, right, at least acknowledging there's a council, right? So there's kind of this body of people. Along with that, a vote was taken, it was cast. Right, that people can defend their level 8 gathering nodes. Again, you could take it a step further as well, and you could just say any nodes, right? Again, it depends on how your server is set up. Right, to defend level 8 gathering nodes from other factions. This rule goes into effect, right? And they tell you when the rule is going into effect. It says June 1st, and this was sent in... let me see real quick. So June, so it was sent in May. So it was sent on May 28th. Okay, cool. So it gave them 3 days. The only thing I would have said is, like, say reset, right? I would say add a time there. Maybe say, right, you have 3 days from now, right, that we're just giving people, right, to read the mail. I think at least setting the date, though, was nice. It says if you're hit for this, you do not have the right to revenge. Right, and then it also kind of, you know, also gives you some information on, like, gathering bonuses. Okay, so a little, like, decently informative of a mail. Now let's scroll and see if there's anything else. Appointed. Okay. So it looks like that was the last mail that was sent. Never mind. There was another mail that was sent by Gibbles 86 days ago. Right? So the difference here is we have, what was that, 52 to 86 days ago? So that's 34 days. So a 34-day difference. That's pretty wide. Says, welcome to SA. We're an organized server focused on development for future SVS events. To this end, we prohibit all PvP outside of the Forbidden Zone. Unless otherwise specified by rules for an event. We work to keep the balance of the server in mind at all times, so contact us if you are planning. I'm not sure what the last part meant. There was probably just a cutoff. Let me see. There's another one here that was 97 days ago. Says, welcome to Server 8. We're organized. Let me see. Okay, so it says the main rules here is that the Forbidden Zone is 24/7 PvP. It's not allowed to attack players in alliances. Contact the leader from top alliances for details. Okay, so again, right, some more information that that some of them had sent out as far as, right, what some of the rules of the server are, right. So this is at least a baseline example of what you would want to do in some areas, right, on what your server's identity is. Now, again, there could be a little bit more added on than this, and right, I don't want to say frequency, right, but I don't, and not necessarily lack thereof, but the interval in between is pretty long as far as when server mails have sent out. But so far, out of the first 8 servers, S8 is the only server that has actually sent out informative server mails, which again, you know, a lot of these things as well, you know, we had in place when I was there prior to leaving, but I'm happy to see them following through on some of those. Again, the mails could be a little more consistent, right? Even in that regard, it's a little too spread out as far as the intervals, and other pieces of information haven't really been explained, as far as, you know, reasons for why you're doing things in a certain way, kind of educating players, right? But as far as informing on some events, I like that. As far as sending some server identity mails out, I do like that. So for mails here, I'm actually going to give them... I have to think now on this if I want to give them kind of like a 2 or 3. I'm going to say some mails here for them. And I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with a 2. Only because they've sent some mails out, but it's only covered some events. There haven't been any educational mails that have been sent in S8. Only some that have focused on kind of PvP. And yes, they did define some of their server characteristics, but I would have liked for them to like go into more details about maybe more events, using other things like that. So I think for that, I'm still going to give them a 2. This is like a hard 2, kind of soft 3, but just for now, I'm going to leave it as a 2. Now, let's take a look and see if let me see if they have anything as far as Discord-wise. Let's take a look. Okay, cool. So the Number 1 Alliance is promoting the S8 Discord. Awesome. The number 2, number 3 Alliance don't have any mention of that in there. Okay, so it would be nice to add that in, right, to show, because keep in mind, right, when you're looking at Alliance announcement boards and you're looking for unity, right, when you have a portion of your Alliance announcement or your declaration board, which is the public version, right, so you have the notice board that's internally within your Alliance, then you have the declaration board, that's the public one. So again, what I would say is, right, and again, this is what we've seen across all the other alliances as well in the first 8 servers, right? There's not a lot of unity where you have some information that's consistent across all of the alliance announcement boards, right? When I was there, it was, but again, right, obviously obviously that's changed for at least some of those alliances. Now, let's look at the World Heart, if we can. So again, right, they're doing kind of like a 1/3 city distribution split for theirs. Okay, let's see if they have anything on their notice. So someone's king right now. Okay, nothing on the notice board. So server Discord will say yes, and then we'll say rules. We'll say some rules are clear. Okay, so the rating I'm going to give overall, and again, then not just for the server mail. The rating I'm going to give S8 overall based on all of the factors so far for what we have is I'll actually give them a 3. And 1, it's because they still have active alliances given how old the server is. They have at least 8 alliances that have cities, which is more than what we've seen so far. They have sent out some information, and they have a server Discord. So I'm going to give them a 3 overall out of a 1 to 5 rating. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at S9, which I'm sure is probably going to be equally interesting, and then I'm going to come back and take a look at any questions people have. Okay, so I'm loading up S9 right now. Let's come back and take a look. Oh, wow, still have a decent amount of people that are hanging out. Ben Paro said RIP GOW. Bab's like, 1. 1 is the answer. You guys are so messed up, jeez. Ben Paro said Boba, and only Boba. Hey! Yeah, man. Too funny. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're on server 9 now. Let's take a look at server 9. And let's see what we have here. And again, and like I said, if you're just joining now and you're just tuning in, right, we're going over servers 1 through 36, right? So it's, again, strap yourselves in for a little bit of a minute. If you have any questions, you can ask those in the voice channel chat. In addition, if you want to follow along with what we're doing right now, I'm going to post the link again. There's a spreadsheet that I'm updating in real time because, again, I can't live stream, so I'm just trying to do the best job I can of explaining the information to be as descriptive as I can as we go over the servers in real time. But if you want to follow along, I think there's about 8 or 9 people that are watching the spreadsheet right now in real time. You just open that up, go to the bottom where the tabs are, and then scroll over to the right to where you see servers for migration. Again, I am updating that in real time, and if you'd like to ask any questions, you're more than welcome to in the voice channel chat, and then I'm going to periodically come back and look at that in between each server. So now we're on server 9. Let's take a look. And server 9 should be interesting because I have heard that server 9 has been somewhat aggressive, but we're going to take a look here. So let's look at the rankings. So this is top TOP. Okay, yeah, so this is probably pretty somewhat accurate. So they have 131 million power. Top is also one of the top 20 alliances in the game right now. And then we have the second ranked alliance, which is WAT. They have 68.8 mil power. And then you have 30 mil for number 3, and then 16.5 mil for number 4. So based on this, and let's just confirm on faction power. So the top 2 alliances have 2,000, 2,300 faction power or more. Number 3 has 450. So I'm going to say 2 alliances are active here in S9. And then we're going to say the drop-off from 1 to 3 is 101 mil power. So it's a pretty wide power gap. Number of alliances or cities, we're going to say 2. Even though there's others, the reason why we're not factoring in those is because we want to look at power, we want to look at member capacity, and then we want to look at faction points. These 3 areas will give us a soft indication on the actual true active alliances that we have in the server. An example of this is if you look at the number 1 alliance, you can see they're at 142 out of 150 cap. If you look at number 2, WAT, or We Are Together, they're at 136 over 140, or out of 140. When you look at number 3, right, it's Angels of 1 or 2, which kind of gives you the intent that they're a second alliance. Maybe they're 1 now, but they're at 100 out of 130, right? So it's really starting to fall off. Now, keep in mind, right, most alliances will not kick or remove silent or inactive players, right, if they have a lot of them. Mainly the reason for this is because a lot of alliances like to inflate or keep their numbers inflated because it helps at times with recruitment, right? If you don't remove all these silent players that arguably could drop you in the rankings by 5, 6, or 5 or 10 spots, right, that would make you less appealing for players to come. Therefore, what some alliances will do is they'll keep the silent players and then they'll swap them out one by one as they get new blood coming in. I probably should make a video about that. I think I just gave like a really good tip out. Dang it, Bosch, you're just giving gems. It's like we're in Costco or Sam's Club and you're just going up and down the aisles getting free samples. I know. Dang it. How dare I, even though I love free samples, let me tell you. My grandma and I would go up and down those aisles all the time. Okay, now let's move on. So let's take a look at server mails for S9 without me talking about my Hunger Games feelings right now. All right. So server mails for S9. Let's see if anything's been sent. So appointed. Okay, so something was sent 80 days ago. Dang, that's a long time. Lazarus from S1-S18 said, welcoming active and friendly players to come and join S9. Okay, I feel, I'm sorry. The way that this server mail is already reading is though he's sending an announcement to every single player in the game. That's cross-server. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. We try to keep a balanced ship here and welcome the prospect of more players to help us make S9 a haven for all players to grow and stay competitive. Okay, so something that's a little broad, something that's kind of a little vague. Let's see here. Another mail that was sent out on the 80 days ago. Forbidden Zone is now protected under the Non-Aggression Pact. I would have just said NAP. That would have saved you some characters. Rules and considered a neutral territory. Do not attack anyone in the Forbidden Zone. If you are attacked, retaliation is allowed. I probably would have done that the opposite way. Let me see here. And then the next one, I think they sent out another one before. Okay, same thing. He just re-edited it. Okay, same thing again. Looks like there was 4 or 5 mails that were sent out. That looks to be the same. Let's take a look and see if there was anything else. Oh, thank you, sweetie. And all right. So yeah, so it looks like that was it. So again, a couple mails that were sent out. For the most part, it was one that kind of had, a broad welcoming message, and then 2, a little bit about the Forbidden Zone. So really nothing that's super educational or extremely informative. So for that, I'm going to give them a 1. Right. Again, nice that they sent something, but just no consistency, really nothing there. So I'm going to say, we'll say 2 mails, or we'll just say, I'll say almost none, and I'll say 1. Okay, now, do they have a server Discord? Let's take a look. Anything being promoted? Okay, nope, nothing. Let's take a look at World Heart for S9 and see what they have going on there. I probably should log into these accounts more often because it's giving me like the tutorial when I go on the map overhead. Okay, so no one's there. Okay, so there's no announcement. All right, so we're going to say no for server Discord. What are the rules of the server? Well, we pretty much don't know what the rules of the server are, right? Because they haven't defined what the rules of the server are. The only thing that we know as of 80 days ago, which hasn't been updated. Now, in my opinion, anything, if you're not consistently updating rules or providing friendly reminders, right? Because keep in mind, some players may not always read server mails all the time, or kingdom declarations or notices. In addition, if you have new players coming in after migration opens, right, which the server's open for migration, right, then it's always good to send friendly reminders out. So for that, I'm going to say rules are unclear. Now let's go, and my overall rating for S9, I'm just going to give them a 1 overall. Because 1, we have no idea what the server's about. Really hasn't been any informative mails that have been sent out. A low amount of alliances are still there, along with a low amount of alliances that have cities, and then obviously the wide power gap as well. Which is not to say that that's bad, because some servers can run a 1 to 2 mega alliance style server, and it's not the end of the world. But again, define yourself. Okay, let's take a look at S10, and then I'm going to come back and take a look at the chat. Man, I'm just putting on a clinic today. Oh, God, man, maybe this is somewhat ambitious, looking at 36 servers. God, let me come back to voice channel chat. Okay, so no questions here. I'm taking a look, though, right now, so if anyone has a question, you want to type it out in voice channel chat, you're more than welcome to. Or even feedback and comments are always welcome as well. All right. Man, this kombucha is so good. Let me see if anyone has a hand raised. No one does. All right. Let me take a look here. You're not... Hey, don't test me. Tristan said, probably when starting a new account is the tutorial. Wish they added the skip button. Man, skip the tutorial could be OP. Alright, let's see here. Okay, awesome. So we have S10 loaded up. Let's take a look and see what S10 is about. All right. Okay, so S10, taking a look here now, let's see what they have. So right now, based on alliance power, okay, so a little closer in some areas. So the number 1 alliance in S10 is Fate. They have 98 million power. Number 2 is Phoenix, or PHNX. They have 87.7 mil power. Number 3, SM at 67 mil power. And then number 4, DSC, Demon Slayer Corps, nice, great show, can't wait for season 2, has 53 million power. And then you have the drop off at 36, right? So slight drop off from 3 to 4, bigger drop off from 4 to 5. Let's take a look at faction power and see if this information adds up. So, oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, so the top 5 alliances are probably active. Top 5 alliances at number 5 has at least 1,400 faction points or more. Faction points are decently spread too as well, which is somewhat nice to see. Right, you have the low end, which is 1,460, with the high end at Fate at 2,130. So you have about, what's that, 600, 570? No, sorry, more than that. 670. So points are a little closer. So that actually is somewhat nice to see. And then again, we can see that pretty much is reciprocated when you look at the alliances on the board. So we'll say 5 alliances are still active. Again, giving them a little bit. I'd like to say 4, but given they have a decent faction point spread, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So we're going to say 5 alliances are still active. And with that, what is our gap? So our gap from 1 to 5 is 98 mil to 36. So we have about a 62 mil power gap. Excuse me. Number of alliances with cities, we'll say 5. Okay, let's take a look at server mails. Let's see how the server mails are rocking there. Watch it be so funny. I bet you're gonna have like some of the older servers right now. If anyone's here, they're like, "Yo, hurry up and go send some server mails out so boss can give us good feedback." It's okay. I'll pay attention for that. Okay, let's see here on S10. So they sent a mail out 19 days ago. Oh, it's in French. Let's convert. 19 days ago, so sent out by Vincenzo2169 from SM. He says, or I should say they say, have to be gender neutral. The kingdom is at peace. Congratulations to all the members of SM on this beautiful victory. Let us continue to move forward and grow together. Let's fight against WE together. Okay, this was 19 days ago, but no update on how that's going. I'm really confused. The kingdom is at peace. Congratulations, we've won. Let's fight against WE together. Okay, I'm going to go with, it sounds a little contradictory at face value. That's just my feedback. All right, let's see. Here, appointed. Okay. Then there was another mail sent out 40 days ago. Chaos gives birth to new possibilities. That's from WOL. All right. That's, I feel like we're going really kind of danger zone here. Do what you have to and be what will be. I don't know if he's trying to go with like the Aristotle route and just kind of quoting stuff here. That was about 40 days ago. Let's see what else they have. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So 3 mails that were sent. I'm going to say none as far as my rating on them. Nothing was really informative. We have no idea. Now let's see if they have a server Discord for S10. And I'm going to try and go through these a little faster too. So nothing for the number 1 alliance. Let's look at the top 5. If any, ooh. So, oh, I like this. So check this out, right? This is this is the good stuff here. So the number 2 alliance here in Phoenix, right, says we use Discord for communication, information inside. Really? You use Discord for communication and the information's inside. But what's the Discord? How do we get there? Right? That's the big missing piece. So I'm sorry. I found that somewhat comical. Okay. Let's go to World Heart and take a look. So with World Heart, let's see. Anything on the notice board? Nothing on the notice board. Okay. So server Discord, we're going to say no because they haven't defined it. Rules are unclear because we have no idea what they are. So I'm going to give the server rating of a 1. Let's go to S11. Ooh, S11 should be interesting. I think this is BXS's server. So let's go. Man, we're going to start getting to like some interesting servers here. Okay, let's come back and I'm going to take a look at... let me see. Sorry, I'm coming back to chat right now. Oh no. Simon08 says, is there a server you'd recommend for free-to-play players? I mean, to be honest, you know, and this is just really in all truthfulness, every server is going to have spenders. The only difference is how big or how small those spenders are going to be. If you want to go to a server that is more suited to free-to-play players, I'd recommend going to a dead server. Why do I say that? Well, I really recommend going to one of 2 servers. One, I would say either go to a dead server, and the reason why is because if the server's dead, it's less likely that you're going to be attacked, and also less likely that higher-powered players are probably still playing there, for the most part, because the server is pretty non-existent or dead. The second option would be if you ever find a server that is truly unified and structured well, where they do not have server-wide PvP or just any lawless PvP. And the reason I say that is because those types of servers are more favorable for free-to-play. Because one, there's less likely of it's less likely you'll get attacked, if not at all. Because that server probably has rules in place for that, and then also people in place that will take care of anyone that kind of go rogue or rule breakers. And also, if you're in a server that doesn't have server-wide PvP, whether that's 24/7 or for specific events, then you will not have to you'll not have to shield unnecessarily and use resources unnecessarily. Right, which is also going to help you more as a free-to-play player because you'll be able to save those for when server versus server comes out. So again, those are the 2 situations I would recommend as a free-to-play player. Okay, now we're taking a look at S11. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so for S11, let's see what we have here for ranks. So BXS, still numero uno. And let's see on our spreadsheet. Okay, awesome. So they have 90 mil power. RB has 72 mil power. DYT number 3, they have 65 million power. Number 4, KNGT has 65 million power. And the number 5, 46 mil. Okay, let's take a look at the faction points. Okay, so there is 4 alliances that have 1,100 faction points or more. And then you have the drop-off at 460. So I'm going to go here and say 4 alliances are active. And let's take a look at what the gap is now. So we have 90 to 65. That's actually only a 25 mil power gap. So not that bad. Now let's look at alliances with actual cities. We're going to say 4. And then let's look at server mails. And see what they have here. All right. Okay. So let's see. Oh, dear Lord, wow. My God, do they even believe in server mails here on S9? Or, sorry, S11? Let's see. Wow, Kingdom appointed, notice appointed. Okay, never mind. S11 does not believe in server mails. They've sent none. So, not even by accident, which I find is hard, but we're going to give them a 1 rating there. Okay, now let's take a look and see if they have a server Discord. Okay, nothing promoted in the number 1 alliance. Number 2 alliance. I love this, right? Number 2 alliance RB here in S11. At the bottom of their declaration board, it says Community Discord. That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Where is the Discord? All right. Number 3 alliance, nothing. Number 4 alliance, nothing. Okay. Let's take one last gander at World Harp, but we probably already know what that's going to be. But of course, for consistency purposes, we always like to look. So my buddy Jez over there. Anything on the notice board? Nada. Okay. So, let's go with, do they have a server Discord? We're going to say no. Let me see. What is their type of server? We're going to say unclear because they haven't defined anything. We have no idea what their identity is. And then what's my rating for S11? I'm going to say 1 overall. Okay, now let's look at S12. And then I'm going to come back and take a look at any questions as well. Awesome. Maybe we'll find a server that surprises us. Hopefully. And again, welcome. If you guys are just joining, or you want to take a look and follow along, we have a spreadsheet link in the voice channel chat. You're more than welcome to go and take a look there. As we are kind of going through the servers one by one, and just kind of going over some migration information. Okay, we're looking at S12. Let me load this up and see what we have. Let me see. Django Fett said, are you only going to server 36 today? I am. The reason why I'm only going to S36 is because technically S35 and younger, or S1 to S35, are the only servers that are actually open for migration. S36 opens, I think, in 2 days. So I'm just kind of sliding them in because they're the next closest that's coming. And then, you know, we'll do another one of these probably in a couple weeks where we'll then take a look at, you know, more servers, so to speak. I'm just trying to focus on the ones that are open or are literally on the bubble for opening. All right, now let's take a look at S12. And let's see what they have on their ranks. So number 1 alliance in S12, PA, start at 110 million power. Number 2, NSN, they're at, never say never. Well, you know, maybe. 81 mil. Number 3, Ben, is at 70 million power. And then we have kind of the first big drop off from BW at number 4 at 41 mil power. Let's take a look at faction points. We have 4 alliances that have 1,000 faction points or higher, and then you have a drop-off of about 360. Let's see what number 4 alliance is. Okay, let's take a look at member cap. 126, 130, 136, 140, 148, 150. What's number 4? So number 4 is 86, 120. Okay, so let me see here. Ooh, 53, 140. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to say, for the most part, that it's 3 alliances. I kind of want to say 4, but I feel a little more confident in saying 3 that have hard activity. So for that, we're going to do the ranking from number 1 to number 4 because that's where the drop-off is, and we're at 69 mil power is the gap. That's pretty wide. Along with that, we're going to say that there's 3 alliances, and let me do this. Number of active alliances with cities. That's what we're going to do. And can I text wrap this? Let me see if I can. That would be lovely if I can format that. Cool. Awesome. So now let's look at server mails for S12 and see what they got cracking. Ooh, wow. All right. Hang on. S12 could be... Okay, S12, I see you showing out, baby. Let me see here. Yo, did they just send this mail out before I started the show? Oh, man. Okay. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this, and I'm going to post this in voice channel chat. This so far, right? These are the kind of mails that as far as how it looks in the presentation, are the kind of mails that I write myself. Right. So if you want to look at an example, and again, the content aside, if you just want to look at a good example of a mail, I'm going to post a screenshot here in voice channel chat. Right. The thing I like about it is, one, it's actually formatted. Right. There is spacing. Dear Buddha, thank you so much. Right. Just off of formatting and structure of a mail, like, you win the award so far for the first 12 servers. Right. It's pretty. Now, let's actually dive into the context, or the content of the mail, which is, they say kingdoms. This is by Blackbeard. Says, all, if you work together in perfect teamwork and harmony, it was a long way to walk on to reach this great success for us all. It is and was a pleasure to influence this long procedure, and I thank all of you very well done. So we don't really know what that is, but let's take a look and dive into some other mails. So again, they sent some mails even earlier than this one, and technically they sent this even before we started the show. So then they have a siege mail. It says, to continue balancing all kingdoms, we will siege today Minerva's Shadow for our friends BW. I ask all of you to help siege the city with all... Okay, so they're actually asking everyone in the server. Interesting. Another mail, it is not fantastic to see all 3 kingdoms working together. Oh, sorry. Is it not fantastic? He's asking a question that somewhat already has an answer to it. Today we sieged 3 cities, one after the other and all together. I guess I can in the name of all alliances. Thank you all. Let us follow the path. Okay. Looks like there's another city that they did. Another... Okay. Maybe we're over-messaging now with the server mails. Says to continue balancing all kingdoms. Okay, looks like they did another kind of server-wide siege. Oh, wow. So it looks like they're kind of doing sieges with everyone, I guess, here. This one says... Okay, yeah, so I guess they are doing sieges with everyone in their server. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, why you don't have share screen boss. So yeah, again, that's just because this is a stage channel. So in the stage channel, it is only where you have like one speaker, and you can't do screen share in the stage channels. I'm recording it, so again, for people that want to kind of go back and watch it and view what I'm looking at, you'll have an opportunity to do that in a later VOD. The other reason why we're not doing a typical voice channel is also because it allows for pretty much anyone and everyone to voice at any time. So, again, the trolls would obviously come out in droves, possibly for that, which would make just actually having a show a little bit more challenging to do. The only other option that we could do would be to do a live stream, right? Whether it be like on my YouTube, or if it's like on a Twitch or something like that. We could. I'd have to ask the IK people. Again, the idea of doing it this way was to kind of promote more engagement and more socializing on the actual Discord in the form of this, rather than promoting them going somewhere else. At least that was my idea going in. So yeah, but that's the reason why. So, but yeah, which is why I'm trying to do like the best I can to just explain and be as descriptive as possible. Okay, so then we had 4 days ago, Blackbeard said, I recognized last days that some people think the server rules might not count for them. In fact, there is no reason to break those rules apart from the truth that they are helpful for all of us and part of the server balancing plan. We have to follow rules. Okay. So I feel like it's been more declarations so far that we've been getting, which is just more kind of general statements. Another one, 6 days ago, members of all... So, I mean, again, they're not shy of using the server mail function, which is nice. Right? Kind of everything in moderation, usually. Members of all kingdoms, we reached a high target. Peace. May new players come and enjoy what we've created together. Thank you, Xena, for the trust you gave me till now and choosing me as successor of King Siegfried, who made a great job. I'll go on there where it's supported, or go on from where he stopped. Okay. Let's see here. Another mail was sent out 12 days ago saying I would like to inform that leaders decided together that we need to focus on sieges to make server balanced right now, and it is not allowed to attack other castles and gathering nodes no matter where. Forbidden Zone or FZ is a safe place for now, and you can gather everywhere. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, I'm just reading through a few more. I don't want to sit here and bore anyone with additional mails. I just want to see if there's anything actually different. Okay, so here we go. So 20 days ago, they actually posted a server balancing mission. Okay, interesting. It says, we are restructuring our server to bring balance between all factions, and improvements will be divided into 3 phases. Oh, they actually list out the phases. Interesting. Phase 1, we are implementing a map based on fair division of cities, where each faction will have 27 cities. Oh, I see. So maybe they're doing like a third map split. Phase 2, better division of players between factions will be encouraged. Phase 3, in order to bring more active players to the server, we will be starting a program to recruit other servers players to S12. Okay, awesome. So I like... So this is what I'll say about this. I like how instead of just them sending out like some kind of an educational mail on like an event or rules of an event, they actually gave you some context of right what their plan is as a server that is for the server, right? That's not just us saying, hey, here's the rules for KE, or hey, here's how our server goes about distributing cities, even though that's nice to hear. But they actually had a plan that they, and again, it's pretty broad and vague. It wasn't like they listed anything out, but it's nice to see that they gave information for everyone on the server that's more of like the nice to know. It may not be the need to know, but it's the nice to know. So again, I like that based on that mail. I just want to see if there's anything else here. Green effort daily. Okay, so they had a COR mail, which was just kind of a thank you. They said, okay, so it looks like they were trying to inform people about the next kill event. They said that some people weren't informed, and so they're going to push it about a week. Okay, so this is about 38 days out. Got it. Oh, I see. So they're I got it. So, okay. So they sent some mails out 98 days ago, or 95 days ago from today. And then the next mail was 38 days ago. So a pretty wide gap. But since about 38 days ago, it looks like they've been sending out consistent mails. So again, based on that, from S12, I think they are probably the best so far. Again, I would say a little bit above S8. So I'm going to give them... Let me see here. I'm actually debating if I want to give them a 3. I like how they've done some stuff. Again, not extremely consistent with all the events that could happen. I would say a little overzealous in kind of over-sending some mails. I don't know if I'm really a fan of sending server mails out to every player that are notices on, hey, we need everyone to come help us siege. I think that's something that can really be done more on the management level within your Discord, just by having officers and leaders there, and they can send out individual alliance mails where it doesn't impact every player on the server, where you're asking everyone, hey, every single person come and help us siege, and then you end up getting 100, 200 people that show up at cities. Right? And yeah, don't get me wrong, that's nice, but I just don't know if that's something that I would personally put out in a server mail. I just kind of feel like it's overly redundant of using something that you could send a mail out to everyone for that. But I do like that they have sent server mails out that seem to be somewhat on par with what S8 did. So you know what? I think I'm just going to give them a hard 2. I do like that they've sent a good amount of mails out. But the direction that all of the mails have gone, and I just don't know if it's something that I really think covers all the different areas that we've talked about. I like it because they've sent out more than 0, but some of the mails, again, I just think are a little over redundant and not really defining the important aspects as far as all of them. Now, let's answer the next question, right? Do they have a server Discord? So let's see here. Number 1, nothing posted there. Nothing posted in number 2. Nothing posted in number 3. Let's look at number 4. Okay, nothing in number 4. Let's take a look at World Heart and see what they have here. Declaration, nothing. Message, man, I gotta read some of these message boards sometimes. I'm sure some of the stuff here would be hilarious. So we're gonna say no on the server Discord. The type of server, I'm actually gonna say that some of their type of server is pretty clear, right? It's I'm gonna say a 3-faction balanced. I'm gonna say 3-faction balanced. Why? Because they defined that in a server mail on what they're working towards. Now let's take a look at honor. So honor points really aren't that high so far from what we're seeing, which again doesn't necessarily indicate that there's any kind of rogue player. So I'm actually going to say they have a 3-faction balance system for their type of server. Gosh, let me see. What do they have here about KE rules? I probably should have wrote that down for some of the other ones too. I just thought about that. Let me see if they defined what their KE rules were for kill events. Because I think they might have. I just have to scroll back a little farther here. Okay. Yeah, so they said FZ is a safe place. You can gather... Forbidden Zone is a safe place for now, and you can gather everywhere. Okay. I'm not sure then on where they're going with that, because I don't think anything was really properly defined. Let's see here if they have something else that states that. Okay. Yeah, so nothing else that's really stated. So I'm just going to go with the 3-faction balance so far, and we're going to leave it at that. Let's go to S13. But so far, S12, I think, has done the best job as far as actually defining what the server is publicly so we can see it. As far as what some of the server is, let me preface that. What some of the server is publicly, and they've sent a little bit more of informative mails than S8 has so far. Again, kind of comparing our top 2 servers as far as when it comes to how we're going to rate them. So again, I'm going to rate... let me see here. I'm actually going to give S12 a 3 here on the rating. The reason I'm going to give them a 3... similar to S8, is they've defined some areas that S8 hasn't defined yet, on top of them publicly coming out with a balanced faction server, right, for at least some of what their server is defined as. So let's look at S13 now. I actually thought this was going to go faster than it's not, so I'm going to have to go a little faster here. Let me come back and take a look at voice channel chat now. Yeah, I would say S12 is okay. And keep in mind that when I'm going over these servers and I'm giving you my opinions and we're taking a look at these details, the thing to keep in mind is that if I'm giving a server a high rating, or a higher rating, I'm not necessarily saying that you need to immediately go there and migrate. What I'm saying is that these servers are worth contacting if you are someone who wants to get more information about a possible place to go to, right? That's what I'm saying. And it doesn't mean that the other servers aren't worth contacting, but it just depends on this kind of server you're looking for, right? So that's why we're trying to define what those are. Okay, now we're in S13. Let's see what they have for their power rankings here. So power rankings for the number 1 alliance is 13BL Bloody Legends. They had 115 million power, 110 mil power for number 2, 79 mil for number 3. Number 4 is 60. That's where we kind of see the next big drop off. And then 5542. Okay, so number 6 to 7, it goes 42 mil to 19.9. Let's look at the faction power and see how that adds up. Okay, so 6 alliances have 1,100 points or higher, a spread of 1,800 faction points to 1,100 is what we're seeing. So 6 alliances. Okay, and that actually adds up. Again, 6 to 12, 42 to 19 mil drop. Okay, so we're going to say 6 alliances are active. Number 1 alliance at 115 mil. Number 7 is at 19. So we're at 98 mil power gap, right? And we're defining that based on the number 1 alliance from the next inactive alliance is the power gap. Okay, number of alliances with cities, we're going to say 6. And okay, let's take a look at some server mails. Yeah, let's see if we can go a little quicker. Okay, server, let's see here, 13. So there was a mail sent out 2 days ago from Green Machine. It says, server 13, no matter what alliance or faction, we are family. We are the ones who make the server strive. We are the ones that must continue to treat each other with respect and dignity. There's nothing wrong with server competition, but always respect your rivals and treat everyone as you would want to be treated. Even though it got cut off, I imagine that's what he was going for. Okay, so nice. Nice to see kind of a moral mail, morality mail being sent out. I'm always a fan of those. The next mail, these were sent 2 days ago, says, if you look to strive in a server and grow and have fun, then you are more than welcome here. We will not tolerate troublemakers or unjust people. If you are looking for an alliance, join BRFM. If you are red, join DK, or VLY. Blue, join Love, RS, or 13BL. Okay, so I actually like this. This is a different kind of a mail that we haven't seen yet. And I'm going to post a screenshot of this in server chat, because these kinds of mails, I think, are absolutely fantastic that we have. So let's see here. On... Oh, is that my TV? Let's see here what I have on that one. Okay. So I'm going to post this mail over here in the server chat. I actually think this is pretty good of a mail, because it's a different type of a mail that we haven't seen written yet, right? The reason I like this mail is because they're they're telling all of the active remaining players in the server that if you're still active and you're playing here, this is where we recommend going, right? So this is a mail that is going to help condense activity and funnel it into the remaining active alliances. So again, I like this mail a lot. I would have loved for it to be formatted a little bit better, but again, do like it. Let me see. Another mail they said is, I want to wish all who has Illusion Battlefield today success. I hope you all conquer those who oppose our wonder. I don't really know if I'd say anyone that directly opposes it. That seems a little aggressive. No matter what alliance or faction, we are family. We are the ones who make the server strive. Okay, so a little bit of a repeat now. Let's continue. So they set a king boost where they said, hello all, I have set an extra damage boost to gnomes. I hope all is good. So a similar mail that we saw before. We've only seen 2 of these mails so far where people have actually sent out mails on popping kingdom buffs out of the first 13 servers we've looked at. But again, haven't really defined what those servers are. Or excuse me, what the actual boost is, how long does it last, and then giving information on how to kind of best take advantage. Let's see here if there's anything else. Okay, so that's it. So pretty much 2 or 3 mails that have been sent out. Nothing really before or after that. So let's take a look at our spreadsheet and wherever I'm looking at here. Okay, so we're gonna say some. Nothing has really been defined in the mails outside of them just telling people to condense. So I'm still gonna give them a 1. Is there a server Discord? Let's look. 2. I don't see anything for the Discords here within, what do we say? There's 6 alliances here. Okay, so yeah. Nothing there, and then of course we'll take a look at the World Heart to see if there's anything. Okay. Oh wow, so they actually have something here on the notice board. Shocking. They actually left this up. That's lovely. Okay, so it's kind of just a generalization. There's nothing really informative about it. Okay, so we're going to say server Discord no. We're going to say unclear because we don't really know anything about the server, therefore how it runs or operates. So yeah, let's move on to S14. Okay, I'm really going to try and do this a little faster now because I'm realizing I am totally lagging some of the time here. Let me see if someone has a hand raised. In your Discord, again, you're more than welcome to ask your question in voice channel chat. That is where we're talking, unless you're someone who is already here for existence. All right, so we're on server 14. Let's take a look. All right, so server 14, let's take a look at power. We have 99 mil for the number 1 player, number 1 alliance. We have number 2 alliance, 63, number 3, 55, number 4, 39. Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb and maybe say 3 or 4 we have here that are active. Oh, excuse me, only 2. Pretty much. So the top 2 alliances have 2,300 faction points or more. Number 3 has 920. Ugh, it just doesn't seem like it's a lot. Let me see what the player is. Oh, dear God. So the number 1 alliance has 138 out of 140. Number 2 alliance has 86 out of 140. Number 3 has 101 out of 130. I would imagine that's probably because the number 2 alliance just removed their inactive or silent players, and probably the number 3 alliance has not. So based on this, I'm just going to say 2 alliances are active. And then we're going to say the gap from the most active to the next inactive is, what are we looking at? 44 mil? So 44 mil gap. Okay. Number of alliances with cities, we'll say 2. Okay, let's take a look at server mails. Oh, wow. Okay, they actually sent some server mails here in S14. Okay, they sent a gift code. Only 1 gift code out, though. Okay, so Haddix said this was for S14 36 days ago. For everyone that is considering to change colors, please reconsider if your current color doesn't need you more than the color that you want to change to. Changing may have some small benefits for yourself in the short term, but has a negative impact on the server for the long term, also yourself. To everyone in the kingdom, stay strong, grow. A little Winston Churchill quote. Fawn is willing to help everyone, independent of color. Please reach out to us if you feel that we can help. This was 36 days ago. Okay, so, and then there was a mail 99 days ago. Okay, never mind. Just seems like some banter. Oh, wow, they actually sent out a recruiting message that someone's recruiting. I don't know if I would ever send that out. In mails, they sent the test mail 99 days ago. Okay, so for the most part, really hasn't been anything that was pretty much sent out. So we're going to say, for the most part, we're going to say none. There's really not anything that's super defining. Okay, now let's look and see if there's a server Discord. Okay, so no server Discord. Let's check Lost Temple. And okay, nothing at Lost Temple. All right, so we're going to say no for server Discord. Type of server, we're going to say unclear because they haven't defined themselves at all. And for that, we're going to give them a 1. Okay, let's go to 15. I think we actually went through that probably the fastest that we've done so far. Let's keep this up. Okay, boss. You can do it. And again, if anyone is just joining in, you want to take a look at what we're doing, we did post a spreadsheet link in the voice channel chat. And you can open that up if you want to follow along with us in real time. Just because utilizing the stage voice channels, we can't live screen, live share anything. But if you open the spreadsheet up and then you scroll all the way to the right from the tabs at the bottom, click on Service for Migration. We're updating the spreadsheet in real time for those that would like to follow along. Let's take a look at S15. So we have 96 mil, 93 mil for number 2, 63 mil for number 3, excuse me, and then it drops off to 38 mil at number 4. So I'm going to make a guess here and say we have 3 alliances that are active. Let's look at faction points. Okay, that pretty much confirms it. 3,600, 2,500, and 1,200 for the top 3 alliances on faction points. So we're going to say 3 alliances are active. And then we have the power gap is 96 to 38. That's 60. We're going to say 58 mil. We're going to say 3 alliances have cities. Salud. And then let's take a look at server mails. Okay. So a mail was sent out 2 days ago that says kill event is tomorrow. Well, that's lovely to know. A mail was sent out 10 seconds before that. It says KE is tomorrow. That's lovely. Let's look at if there's any other mails here. 9 days ago. Hi all, a reminder that tomorrow is PvP day. Starts are reset. It is free fight and no safe zones. Damn! Okay, server-wide PvP. Let's look at when the next one. The last one was 21 days ago. Ooh, nicely formatted. Hello everyone for the next days of official kill event, Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday. Let's keep the rules from the last events. The only rule is not to attack resource gathering troops, free combat across the map. So here's an example, and I'm going to post this in voice channel chat, just to give another example of, again, at least a semi-spaced out mail of... Here you go. So this is a semi-spaced out mail, right? Again, decent. It could be better, but it's nice to see that people are at least taking advantage of formatting some of their mails. Okay, let's look at if there's anything else that was posted here. A declaration 37 days ago. Sunday PvP is canceled. Okay, so really nothing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So outside of them just defining kind of where or where not the PvP zones are, that's pretty much all we've gotten from S15. So for that, we're going to say none, and I'm going to give them a 1. Do we have a server Discord for S15? Let's take a look. I don't see. Let me see. We have 3 alliances here. Let's look at the declaration boards. Nothing. Okay. So now let's take a look at the... Let's take a look at World Heart. Okay. So World Heart, okay, they don't have anything on their notice board, so we're going to say no for that. We're going to also say unclear. Well, actually, sorry. I'm going to say server-wide. I'm going to say server-wide PvP. And that's all we know, right? I'm still going to give them a 1 because, for the most part, nothing else has been defined overall, factoring in all the other areas that we've looked at. Okay. Now let's look at S16. And take a look at them. Awesome. No save zones, oh yeah. I also see, is that... Oh, I see Sono in here. Sono, hurry up! Tell everyone in S16, send out really good mails right now, and have everyone update their alliance boards and put some on your notice board. Do it. Just joking. Sorry, that's funny. Sono's like, on it, come back to us in 5 minutes. Already did. My boy. All right, let's take a look. Oh, too funny. All right, let's take a look at alliance power here. Okay, so we got Rat Pack, my team Awoo, that we talked about. I think they're also a top 20 alliance in the game. Let's see here. So we have a Woo 117 mil, number 2 CG 112, number 3 App, which is 110 mil, and then we have the steep fall off at 65 mil, and then 52, 42. So visually, it looks like there's 3 alliances that are active, maybe a soft top 6. Let's look at faction power. Okay, so faction power pretty much defines that it's pretty much hard activity is consolidated to the top 3, 2,200 faction points or more. But again, a decent spread. 22, it's like 2,300 to 2,500 for faction points, and it's one of each color. So I do like that. Okay, let's look at, so again, we have 3 alliances, so let's go ahead and say 3. Let's look at what their spread is from number 1. 117 to 65. Oh god, which is 50, that puts me at 115, so we're going to say 52 mil is the power gap. 3 alliances. Okay, let's take a look at server mails. Okay, so they didn't cheat the system by posting before I started taking a look. Let's see here. So first mail that we're looking at was posted 15 hours ago by Mr. Toto. S16, always looking for new active recruits. Come join our server. Again, I feel like we're running into that similar case of maybe not knowing that the server mail is just for your server and not game-wide. Let me see. Come join our server, balance PvE, PvE, PvP, PvE, balance territory and alliances, and most importantly, IB destroyers. Reach out to any of our 3 factions for more info. Okay. So broad, again, a little vague. Let's look at a mail that was sent out earlier. Peace, rainbows, and MFing sunshine for at least a week, I declare. New and improved and better server Discord. Okay, so this is nice to see. S16 so far has been the only server out of the first 16 servers that we've looked at that actually sent out a server mail about where the server Discord, or there is a server Discord, and actually giving you a link to it. Okay, so a big plus here. I'm a big fan of sending out server Discords server Discords in utilizing server mail. So happy to see that. And again, that was sent out 15 hours ago. Let's look here. Okay, so that was notice. Wow, okay, 30, no, wow, oh my god, haven't sent another mail out for 35 days. All right, it was looking good. It was looking good in the beginning. Let's keep going. 36, okay, next mail was sent out 36 days ago. Let's see. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying here. The execution for Amando has been scheduled for, okay. Okay, so this is a player. Amando has been found guilty of pineapple on pizza, falsifying Titan Tula kills. Thank you for hearing my announcement. That is all for now. Okay. I'm not, I don't know. I mean, this seems like a funny kind of troll post. Yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on troll posts. I do think they can provide some comedic relief. And I would imagine, given that this mail was not sent out early on in the server, it probably had more comedic relief than it did people looking at it as, like, why does send us this point in the server mail? So I'm going to give you, like, half a pass on that. Okay, and then let's look at, okay, so then there was a notice, okay, so the next informative mail, or semi-informative, I guess I should say, was sent 53 days ago. So a big gap, 53 days to 15 hours ago. Community organized kill event this weekend. Please speak to your lead teams to find out the rules or check Discord yourself. Okay, let's see. Okay, then the next mail said updated server rules. Okay, I like how they're giving us like this outline here where it says updated server rules, rule 1, obedience. Okay, I don't know if I would lead with obedience. It almost makes it sound like we're like running the dictatorship style thing. I think there's nicer ways to say that, especially because they put an exclamation point at the end. So really, really revving hard there. It says all PvP limited to Forbidden Zone. Absolutely no resource tile hitting. Only special circumstances. I imagine you had to space that probably because of a random prohibit. Only special circumstances lift these restrictions, i.e. kill event, server events, contention of relics, and future events. Rule 2, those are mine. Okay, is that like a My Germs play? It says you can attack any E. Okay, I feel like there was probably more rules that meant to be here, but maybe they didn't know that you only had 300 characters and you're going to have to split that up in multiple servers. Again, I like this, and I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this because again, this is decently formatted, and in addition to that, they defined things a little bit more clearly. So let me post this here in voice channel chat for anyone that wants to take a look at that mail. That I think is another good example. Right. So again, we have some defining characteristics here for the server. Let me see here. So for server mails, I'm actually going to say some, and I'm going to give them a 2. Here. Server Discord, I think we're going to say yes. Now, the type of server, this is what we know, right? We're going to say PvP and FZ. We're going to say no RSS tile hitting. I think that's what we have so far for them. Okay, cool. Let me do a nice little text wrap here, just so I can still see it on my screen. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else here. So 53 days ago, appointments. Okay, then we had something 61 days ago. Okay, 61 days ago there was a Discord address that was posted, but obviously that's not the newest one. New rules have been published for the server. Please join Discord and read the rules. Okay, so the only and again, this has been updated. This was MetMexi who said this. The only thing I'm going to say about this, and this is just a piece of quality pro advice. The expectation should never be join the Discord to read on our rules. Can anyone tell me why that should never be the expectation for a server? And again, you can post your thoughts or answers in the voice channel chat. Why should you never post a server-wide announcement and tell people to join the Discord to find information about the server and the rules? Right, and there's an asterisk there that I'll explain. Does anyone have a guess on why you should never do that? And if I worded this a different way, I would already be giving away the answer. And that's why I said there's an asterisk there. But does anyone have a guess on why you should not send a mail out in this way? Does anyone have a guess? Don't even care if it's a bad guess. Well, I don't know if I should say it's a bad guess, but... Okay, Ben Barrows said some people don't want to install Discord. Deserves to be 0. Yeah, I don't know if we should go around zeroing people just because they haven't installed Discord. But the first line is somewhat true. Right, not everyone in your server is going to have Discord. And again, also some people may not want to install it. Toto, the Not So Peaceful, said, very simple, it's added location for rules, it's not mandatory. Okay, so yeah, again, I do think that is another good point. Does anyone have another guess on why why you think on why I'm saying this is not the best way, right? Or it shouldn't be the only way. Okay, Toto said maybe the translation issue, but that's also. I mean, yeah. You can translate mails, right? If it's not being sent in your native language, or if the person sending it is from a different country. Okay, so what I would say is this: the reason why I don't believe in these kinds of mails, and I'm going to post the mail as well just so I can give you an example, because this is something that a lot of servers do. Again, this is just the first server that we're actually looking at that's doing this, or that we've seen. The reason why is partly because of what Bambaro said, but expanding on it further, and this is why I give the asterisk. You want to define your rules in server mail and on your Discord. And if it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5, declaration server mails to be sent out, so be it. But the reason why you do that is because server mail reaches out to every single player in the server. Everyone gets it. In Discord, your server Discord is really for arguably the most active players that also have Discord, that want to engage on Discord, right? Now, really, Discord should mainly be for your management. That's for officers and leaders of active alliances that are still participating in your server. And then anyone else that joins is just a plus, right? If it's players or if it's high-powered players, that would be nice too. If you have any of your whales or your bigger spenders that join, that's nice as well, so they can get more information. But at bare minimum, it really should just be for management, right? And anything more than that is great. So anyways, with that being said, that's the reason why I'm just not a fan. But that's also why I like that in the other mail that was sent 52 days ago that we provided, they did list out some of those rules. I just would have gone a little bit farther with that. But again, right, so far, nice. Okay, so those are the only mails that we've seen sent so far, right, as far as the actual informative ones. So let's update the spreadsheet. And we're now going to look at, where are we? What did I say? Yes. Okay. So, again, right, some mails, we're going to give them a 2 for that. What I would say is this. Again, I like that they sent out a mail. I like that they sent out the Discord for that. I'm actually going to give them a 2 here for the rating. What really is stopping me from giving them a 3 is that there wasn't more informative mails that were sent out. There really wasn't any educational mails that were sent out. Again, there's only 3 active alliances so far, right, factoring into some of those other areas, right, compared to us looking at S13 and, us looking at something like S12 and S8, right, where they have, where one of them has, right, more active alliances than the other, but the other one did a really good job of sending out really good informative mails, right, across a lot of different areas. So that's why I'm going to give them a 2. So let's go to S17. I actually spent a decent amount of time on that server. Let's look at S17. And again, if you want to keep up, we are updating our spreadsheet in real time, so you're more than welcome to take a look. Don Flamingo, S16 till 10. One alliance, 116 out of 130 in Discord. Nice. Okay, so we're looking at S17 now. Let's take a look here. Okay, so looking at the rankings for S17, we are... Okay, so we have S1 is at 92 mil. We have number 2 is 69, number 3 60, and then we have the drop-off at 42. So I'm going to say 3 alliances here are pretty active. Oh, excuse me, 5 alliances. Wow, it actually goes down to... Wow, that's a steep drop-off, though. Wow, it's 18 mil difference from 3 to 4, and then from 4 to 5, it's a 20 mil difference. And then you have a close proximity for, okay, I mean, I guess. Okay, I'll give it to him. So we'll say 5 here. The power gap that we're looking at from 1 to 6, we have 92 mil to 17. So if I can do some math real quick, what is that, 75? Okay, so we're going to say 75 mil, 5. Okay, let's take a look at server mails. So server mails here. Okay, so the last ones were sent 3 days ago. Excuse me. Oh, wow, okay. So I got some hope here then. All right, this is like semi-all right. Okay, let's see here. So... all right, this is pretty cool. I'm actually going to take some screenshots here. So this is Phoenix 404 from here. I'm actually going to post these. These are decent. 1, I like how it's formatted. And then 2, we're going to post some stuff here. So these are pretty good. These were mails that were sent 3 days ago, and they're actually split up into 2 parts. And I'm going to take a screenshot of each, and then we'll talk about them for a sec. Okay, so the first mail... you see where it says Server 17 PvP rules. It says no resource nodes hitting ever. Siege protection 1 hour before and after, right? Kind of talking about, excuse me, I guess however they go about that. Hive protection during, let me see, hive protection during Alliance event, 5+ castles. Does that mean level 5 castles and higher? I'm going to assume so. If so, I don't understand that. Unless they mean level 5, like cities? Titan Tula protection, no PvP in the 3 zones during the event. I think he means the 3 locations, but I'll take it as 3 zones. Contention relics, rotations between each kingdoms, blue, red, green. And then he has part 2 out of 4. So we had part 1, part 2, contention relics, rotates between each kingdoms. Winning kingdom gets 3 relics. Other get 1 each. Okay, so I like how they defined how they're going about COR, right? This is like the first mail we've seen from all the servers that has really defined this, right? That has really provided you some explanation. Level 5 energy nodes reserved for winning kingdoms. Levels 1 through 4. Wow, that's how they're doing it? Ooh, sorry. That puts such a bad taste in my mouth. Why does that put... can anyone answer me the question on why this puts a bad taste in my mouth on how they're allowing special tiles to be gathered, any of the special tiles to be gathered by the non-winning kingdom? Does anyone have a guess on why this is something, at least in my opinion, you should never do? Oh man, this kombucha is so good. Pineapple peach. I need to thank my woman for this. Also, I bought some carrot cake last night from Publix. I don't know if anyone has Publix where you live, but they make like these carrot cake bars, and they are just absolutely phenomenal. It's like some of the best carrot cake I've had, which is surprising to find it at a store. Random side thought, by the way. Let me see. Sono said, no extra rewards. Okay. Ben Paro said, war. I don't know if we're going to go to war over that. But yeah, no extra rewards. And specifically from what Sono was saying, and the most important part here, is that you do not get gold. Only the winning faction or the winning colored kingdom can get gold from, gold and some of the extra resources from the special tiles. So it doesn't matter what your reasoning is. There's no excuse, and really there's no way you can justify having one of the 2 non-winning factions go into the Forbidden Zone and gather from special tiles. It's a waste, right? It's free gold that you're getting that the other 2 factions of players cannot gather anyways. So anytime they gather from these special tiles, it is like, I mean, literally, it's like the biggest slap in the face. I personally would never do that, in my opinion. Right? And it's probably like, I honestly think it's the worst mistake any server can make. But maybe they don't know that. I mean, right, if I'm giving them a little benefit of the doubt here, maybe they don't know. I mean, again, this is server 17, so it's, they've been playing for a while. I would hope they do, which is my assumption based on them saying level 5 energy nodes ready to reserve for them. But still, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do that, ever. But again, I like how they define some rules. This is nice. I also like how they went into some details, right? So they defined some of what the server rules, which we can update on the spreadsheet now, which, again, so because we know some of them, which is 1, no RSS tile hits, and then Titan Tula, safe, we'll say Titan Tula safe event, and then we'll say COR faction rotation, right? Because again, we have some information now based on what they've publicly stated. Okay, so now let's see if there's any other mails here that we can look at. So it says, we gathered here today, proudly present to you our set of rules for the upcoming kill event. Number 1, go crazy. Number 2, don't cry when you get hit. Number 3, burn your enemies. Number 4, don't be a bully and hit way too easy targets or my vengeance will come. Oh, that's funny. It says S1 plus S5 will have a nap. The rest is free for all. Does that mean, is he saying like RSS Zone 1 and Zone 5, which would mean Forbidden Zone and then all the RSS Zone 1 territories? Not really clearly defined, but I do like how he's taking, so my buddy, I don't know if anyone here plays Rock, but my buddy Billy, who is like so dope, plays in 1059, which is Misfits Kingdom. He writes mails like this. That is just, go cry me a river kind of a thing. Like, it's this way or the highway, right? Go shed your tears somewhere else in the desert. So I love this. It's funny. I still don't know if I would word it like that, but cool. Let me see. Next mail was 18 days ago, so some semi-consistency. It says, it has come to my attention that for some reason some of you guys forgot to read your mail and are still attacking PRO, who we have a nap with, so please stop that until nap is over. Or else, to all other players, great job, stay out of trouble, have fun. Cool. Next mail was sent 37 days ago. They have new PvP rules. Again, still no RSS tower hitting. Serenity Alliance nap restored. No save zones for now. Please, okay, so no save zones for now. That means like server-wide PvP. Which I don't think... Okay, yeah, so maybe they do. Okay, so we'll say server-wide PvP. So we actually know a little bit more about what they do. They have some KE rules. Again, no resource node hitting, no save zones, no nap, go crazy, kill everyone. Yeah, which basically goes towards that. Okay. Yo, I like this mail. This guy Donkey says, "Hello everyone. I am the new king, so please be nice and don't make me waste my time telling people off." I mean, really a great way to like not instill confidence like in anyone at all. Definitely wouldn't say that. And I'm going to post this screenshot as well because I want to just briefly touch on this before we go to S18. Right, and I really hope that the people that are still here are really appreciating the amount of detail that I'm going into some of these things, because I'm going to tell you honestly, right, the stuff I'm really giving you right now, in my opinion, is what I would consider just to be gold gems. I don't know, for anyone here that's listening right now, if you've played another Kingdom Builder. I don't know, and like I said earlier in the beginning as well, I don't know anyone that is either a content creator or a player that has actually ever gone into detail on breaking down migration, kind of giving you server or kingdom assessments, right, giving you kind of good tips. And that's okay. That's for you, sweetie. You drink that, but be careful, okay? Don't drop it. I know. Thank you. I have this. I have my kombucha. But thank you. Be careful with the glass. But anyways, so again, right, keeping in mind that, right, so this kind of a mail, the reason I want to point this out, this is the kind of a mail that I feel is something that gets to people, or that gets to kings or queens. It comes with the responsibility and the accountability of also being a king and or queen of a server or kingdom, being the representative when you hold World Heart. You're going to get messaged a lot. People are going to come to you because you are the current king and or queen in the server. And so the expectation is that you have to have realistic expectations, right? You are managing people, right? You are a customer service representative along with being a technical support representative, right? That is what you are doing. And again, right? Everyone that's in your server is an active player, right? There's no PvE bot accounts, right, that are usually in these kinds of games, and none that we know of right now. So because you have players here, you're gonna get responses and feedback in probably a lot of different ways. You as a king or queen have to be able to handle yourself, hopefully with some class and a little bit of some standards, to where you're not just annoyed by everyone. Like, I'll tell you for myself, right? Someone that has managed projects and is seen for the servers that I'm in, right, as a representative of the people, because I don't just care about my alliance, I don't just care about my group of alliances, right? I really care about every player that's in a server, as it should be, in my opinion. Because of that, I get a lot of messages. I'll wake up, I'll have 50 messages in-game, I'll have like 150 messages on Discord, and I'll take my time and I'll answer everyone. Right, no matter how long it takes me. But that's because I enjoy doing that, right? It's not a turn-off for me. Maybe at one point it may be, but at least for now, it is not. And that is part of the realistic expectation that you have to have when you go in to be a king or queen of a server, right? If you've never managed a server or a kingdom, if you've never been an alliance leader in a successful server or kingdom, right, that has won multiple KVKs or SVSs, and you've been a contributing piece of that, some of these experiences are probably going to be new or firsts for you. So, again, so anyways, just keep these things in mind, right? It's good tips to know going forward. Now, moving past that, let's look and see if there was anything else that they've sent out. Ooh, this is pretty cool. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but I really like the creativity here of what they did with this. They did like one of those, oh wow, they sent the middle finger in symbols here 99 days ago. That's lovely. Super big turn on there. Okay. Okay, other stuff. All right, okay. So again, outside of that, right, some of the server mails there I would say have been decent. So let's go ahead and give them a rating and we'll move on. So for S17, what I'm going to say here is I'm going to say some, and I'm going to give them a 2. Let's see if they have a... I didn't actually check to see if they have a server Discord. Salud. Salud. Okay, so they have an official Discord, but it's not defined as... I know, yeah, we'll go soon. Yes. Okay, alright, yeah, we'll go there soon, sweetie. So, again, they say they have... excuse me, that's my little precious there. So they have an official Discord, but it's not saying if it's a server Discord or if it is the Alliance Discord. It just says official Discord, right? So... Again, with that, nothing is really too defined there. Let's see, because there's 5 alliances here. Let's check the number 5 alliance. And again, that's the number 2 alliance that has that there. So no other consistencies that we're seeing. Let's take a look at World Heart, and then we'll move on. So for World Heart, is there anything here in Declaration? Nope, nothing. Okay, so nothing there in World Heart. So we're going to say, for now, we'll say no. That there's no server Discord that has kind of been actively promoted. Now, I'm going to give them a 2 here on my server rating. And the reason why is because even though they don't have an official server Discord that we've publicly seen, they have sent some good informative mails out that I like. And they also have 5 alliances that are still active given how old the server is. So let's go ahead and look at S18. So oh my god, I'm actually getting halfway through. I really need to speed this one up. For these, or maybe, well, no, I have to stick to it. So, I love you too, sweetie. All right, what am I? Oh man, I'm already at 2 hours. Ugh, okay, I might cut this short then, and maybe we'll do another one next week. God, I really want to try and get this. I just didn't realize this was going to take me 2 hours to do. So, oh Lord. Yeah, maybe we'll do batches of 18, and then I'll come out with another video on it. So that's what we'll do. We'll go to 18, and then I'm going to stop, just because of how long we have been going for. And then I'll probably come out with another video later where I can do it in a more condensed and shorter way. All right, let's look at... Okay, so we're going to take a look at 18 here, and then we'll round it out with any Q&A and any questions that we have, and then we'll push forward from there. Okay, so in that case, Bambaro, whoever said I wasn't going to make it, you are 100% right. Let's look at S18, and we have PPG, which is 100 mil. Number 2 is still at 69 mil, and then we have COD, which is 67. And then number 4, TGA at 60. Then we have the big drop off for the first one at number 5, Loki at 27. So 4 alliances here are active. Let's look at the faction power. That reflects that as well. Number 4 is at 1370 and above. Okay, so we got 4 alliances that are active. Let's see what the power gap is. So, oh god, 73 mil from number 1 to 5. We have 4 alliances. Awesome. Let's take a look at server mails now and see what we've sent. If I can actually click on the mail button. Awesome. Okay. So there was a mail sent out 3 days ago. It says, this is from Turk. King Turk PPG says, "Hi people, please do not attack Penny and her alt Parker. For a while, she was affected by the flood in Germany." Okay, so basically just asking not to attack someone. Okay. Oh wow, dude! They actually had like a happy birthday. They said happy birthday to L. Davidas. Okay, that's nice. The challenge though is that if people start telling you it's their birthday every day, you're going to end up sending a lot of server mail. So I probably just wouldn't open that Pandora's box, in my opinion. And then 7 days ago, they said something named Carlos. I don't know what that is. BW, who is boy? I don't know what that is. Another happy birthday wish. King Turk said, "Rovis, I love you, marry me." Wow, I feel like this is turning into like Big Brother. Is this like The Bachelor that's happening in S18? I'm getting Flock, I love you, marry me. Wow, dude, King Turk. I mean, listen, dude. First off, if you're gonna ask someone to marry you, I hope it would just be one person. We're not running away with the multiple bride scenario. I'm in love with Smiley, marry me. Okay, I feel like there's a trend going on. Kendrick says someone's going to be away for health concerns. Okay, this is not the kind of stuff, though, that you should be posting in... let's see if there's anything else here. Cruel is a good puppy. I don't even know what I'm reading right now. This is wild. Death to third. Good night, ZZZ. Oh, okay. Kadaruda was my brave knight. What? What are we sending mails for? Oh, man. Okay. Finally, 10 days ago, I get somewhat of a mail. It says, few people send me reports about getting tile hit in Forbidden Zone. Tiles in Forbidden Zone belongs to winning faction. Since only we are getting extra rewards from them, there is no point for other factions to farm an FZ. Okay. So again, you know, a direct server mail, informative, but probably could have been worded a little nicer. And then we have another mail that was sent 21 days ago. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. I like this one. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna link this, and I actually like how they wrote this one. This is King Red Ice, where they provided some information on the server, and they also provided, like recruiters, right? So, like, if you wanted to join a specific alliance, then you could, right? You would just contact these people on Discord. So I like how they did this, right? I like the formatting they put in as well, right? This is an example of what I would say is a more nicer formatted mail. So let me see here in S18. So I'm going to go with type of server. So let's do COR rotation with, we'll do rotation with free-for-all. We'll do no tile hits. I'll just say Titan Tula safe. Safe event. Because this is some of the information that we now know based on them actually publicly sharing. Looks like they sent a similar... Wow, they're just copying and pasting this. Okay, they have a 1/3 map split. 1/3, we'll say 1/3. I'll just say 1/3 map. Open PvP world. Okay, so they have, we'll say server-wide PvP, because they've also announced it. Wow, they love copying and pasting this stuff. It's like all that is. Okay, I mean, at least they say no toxicity or trash talk in another mail, which is lovely. Wow, dude, they're just copying and pasting like the same rules over and over again. Wow. Okay, so I think that's probably it. Yeah, because then it gets to 95 days. Okay, so summary here for server mails is I'm going to give them a 2. And I'm going to give them a 2 because they did define server rules, even if they may not have gone into an extreme amount of detail in other areas. I like that they at least did that much. Now let's see if they have a server Discord. Army, okay. Legion, let's look at the number 4 alliance, which is TGA. Okay, nothing. Okay, now we're going to lastly take a look at World Heart and see if there's anything there on their notice board. Okay, nothing on the notice board. Okay, so we're going to say server Discord, no. And then the final rating I'm going to give them, based on the alliances, right, sending some educational mails on server, I'm going to give them a 2. Which is probably for me like a soft 2. I would have liked to seen a little bit more. But I'm going to give them a 2 because I do think they at least did a good job of formatting and then sending out some good mails. So yeah, guys, look, that is pretty much as far as... I'm just going to go ahead and close this out so I can stop this video. But if anyone has any questions in regard to anything we talked about, please go ahead and feel free. This is now the time to ask any and all questions after we've covered the first 18 servers in the game and also updated that information on the spreadsheet. I'll probably go through the remaining servers myself and then update the spreadsheet on that. And then I'll just talk about that probably in a later video because I'll probably be able to do that faster and in a shorter amount of time. But before we do end, let me come back and just see, does anyone have a question on anything I've talked about so far going over the first 18 servers? And again, for those that are curious, any of the information I've talked about can be found on the spreadsheet as well. But I'll give it a sec. Just in case anyone wants to ask something in the voice channel chat. It can be on migration. It can be on anything we talked about on migration. It can be on anything I covered on any of the servers. Even if you have a question for your server, please feel free. But let me go ahead and stop this recording.